In the quiet town of Springfield, oddities are often taken for granted. However, there is one story that even the most skeptical resident would whisper about in hushed tones, the tale of Homer Simpson's twin. It all started one late night at Moe's Tavern. Homer, after downing his customary number of Duff beers, began to slur a peculiar story. "You know, I've got a twin brother," he mumbled, eyes glazed over. "They said he died at birth. But sometimes, I see him." The regulars chuckled and dismissed it as another drunken Homer tale, but Moe's expression darkened. Moe had heard this story before, but from an entirely different source. The old Springfield Hospital records. Years ago, the Springfield General Hospital had a maternity ward fire that destroyed many records, but some remained, preserved in the town's archives. Intrigued and slightly tipsy, Moe decided to investigate the old documents. The next morning, with a pounding headache and a determination that surprised even himself, Moe visited the Springfield archives. He bribed the archivist with a free beer tab and soon found himself poring over the musty old files. There it was, a record from May 12th, the day Homer was born. The file mentioned two names, Homer J. Simpson and Hugo J. Simpson. According to the notes, Hugo had been stillborn. But what stood out to Moe was a scribbled, nearly illegible postscript. Hugo showed signs of life. Taken to the basement. Confused and unnerved, Moe decided to confront Homer. That evening, he found Homer at the bar again, but before he could speak, Homer said, "You went to the archives, didn't you?" Moe nodded, a chill running down his spine. Homer leaned in, his voice a hoarse whisper. "He's not dead, Moe. I've seen him. He's been in the old hospital basement all these years." The story became even more unbelievable when Homer explained that occasionally, late at night, he would find strange footprints in his house, muddy and resembling his own but larger, more brutish. Once, he even saw a shadowy figure in the backyard, a figure that looked just like him but distorted, like a funhouse mirror reflection. Determined to put an end to this haunting, Moe and Homer decided to visit the abandoned wing of Springfield General Hospital. Armed with flashlights and a crowbar, they broke into the old building. The air was thick with decay, and their footsteps echoed ominously through the empty halls. They finally reached the basement, a place that had been locked and untouched for decades. The door creaked open to reveal a dark, damp room. And there, in the corner, they found a makeshift bed, old toys, and crude drawings of the Simpson family, all with one figure standing apart, a tall, lanky version of Homer. Then they saw him. Hugo stepped into the dim light, a grotesque doppelganger of Homer, his eyes wild and feral. His clothes were tattered, and he moved with a predatory grace. Before they could react, Hugo spoke in a guttural voice, "You finally came back for me, brother." The scene was a blur of panic and terror. Moe swung the crowbar, but Hugo dodged effortlessly, his strength and speed unnatural. He lunged at Homer, but something in Homer's eyes made Hugo pause. There was a recognition, a connection that transcended the years of isolation and madness. Hugo's face twisted in a mix of rage and sorrow. "You left me here," he hissed. Homer, trembling, stepped forward, his voice breaking. "I didn't know. I thought you were dead." For a moment, time stood still. Hugo's eyes softened, then hardened again. Without another word, he turned and fled into the darkness of the basement, disappearing as suddenly as he had appeared. Homer and Moe left the hospital in silence, the weight of what they had discovered pressing heavily on them. Homer never spoke of his twin again, and Moe swore to take the secret to his grave. But sometimes, late at night, if you listen closely outside the old Simpson house, you might hear faint whispers, or catch a glimpse of a shadow moving just a little too quickly to be Homer. And in those moments, the people of Springfield remember the tale of Hugo Simpson, the brother who lived in the shadows.